can hit that. All right. So I think I'm going to do for next week is just put in the group and see if there'd be a better time. Because I know as sports start, like we're going to come into baseball and soccer for kids. And I want to try to keep the most consistent time possible. And I know weekends are hard. This is a good time and a bad time. I think it's a good time because Sundays are usually lazy, but people tend to schedule games too. So I will probably throw it out to the rest of the group and see if there's a better time that we'll meet.
Yeah,
for you too.
As it starts getting nicer, the weekend afternoons too will be.
Yeah, heading to the park and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't blame people for doing that, but I want to make sure because I know for me, like, or for some, hey there. How's it going?
Carrie. Say hi, Miss Carrie.
Hi.
Seth, you're getting so big.
Okay.
Because I know for some, it's, what I was brainstorming with Adam today and also just before, I know we were doing the coffee and I think that went well for a few times. And for some of you, it's just you and Beth today, but it's always good to just kind of brainstorm and throw out different ideas and kind of see where people are and what they're doing, what works best, kind of best practices type thing. And so that's kind of really my overall goal for this call and kind of going forward, because for me, when I go and listen to team calls, it's hard for me to sit and listen to one person talk for a half hour. I'll be honest. Like, I do my best, and that's why I love the podcast, because I can kind of fast forward through things and get to the heart of the conversation. But I like the time to talk with people and interact and be able to, while our team, because we only have 2 of you today. And so this is a great way, even if there are 5 of us, I think it's still easy to be able to talk with 5 people. I realize like Fit Club Network, there's no way that they could open and do a round robin with 700 people on the call. That'd be a little impossible. But for us, I think it's very doable. So I just the first thing that I wanted to start off with, because I know people will be watching the recording as well, is I just wanted to, say you all are doing a great job on the team. I know that we all are in totally different spots in our lives. Some have little ones, some have big ones. My kids are gone all day at school, so that's a bonus for me. But I realize like there's some people on our team who are full-time, work outside of the home. And so they have very limited time where they can work their business. And I guess that was kind of where I wanted to go with this call too, is kind of share some ideas, because I know like Shelby, you're in a different position than me. And Beth, you're in a different position. You've got a little one that's always around, and are you still babysitting as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that's something that, someone else might connect to, and you might be able to share ideas or get ideas from other people on how to work your business. But I think, what I want to make sure that I convey to people always is that what it boils down to in your business, no matter how you run it, is the 3 vital behaviors. And I'm sure both of you would agree, and those who are listening to the call or watching the call would agree that, I have found that when those 3 are together in my business, that's when I'm the most successful. And they are not always in at the same time. Like I might have at one point, I might have the inviting down really well. And I might have proof the product works because I'm really, drinking my shakes, I'm getting my workouts in, but my personal development might be stinking, not reading anything, not really learning, not growing. And so that might be a piece that's missing at one point. Another time, and this is honestly where I struggle more, is I can get my workouts in every day, and I can invite every day. Those seem easy to me, but I'm not always as good with my nutrition piece of it. And so I feel like when those things are lacking, and I'm not saying you have to be 100% all the time, but what I'm starting to do is be more vulnerable and open with posts that I share. And like today, I said, today was my off day for working out, but I got an extra workout because I know I'm going out with family tonight for the selection Sunday, and we're going to a wings place. And guess what? I'm going to have some wings. So I shared that on my page and just said, I'm not all about fitness and just doing everything 100%. But, the most important thing I think is just really keeping in check that little triangle of the inviting, the personal development, and the proof the product works. And so that's kind of where I wanted to go with the call. And if we have any lull time, I can talk more about those, or if you have any questions about any three of those, I'd be happy to answer. But, yeah, so that's kind of where I wanted to start off with. And then I just kind of wanted to open up the floor and see, first off, if you have any questions for me, any burning questions that you want him to ask, other than like, hey, what kind of wings do you like? And then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sorry. I tried to put it on mute because my family is talking in the background.
Yeah, that's fine. So, what's going on with everyone?
I was gonna say, there's only two of us.
Crickets, I know. I know, but
the spot, Beth.
Yeah.
No, well, I do have something because I kind of feel like sometimes I have my personal journey and I struggle sometimes, and sometimes I just feel like a hypocrite in the sense of like I'm trying to be a coach, but then I'm like not. I don't know. I'm also having trouble with like being a perfectionist or whatever, and feeling like I need to be perfect in order to be with people, help people along. So sometimes I feel like, why am I giving them help if I'm struggling? So I don't know. Just want to. Maybe either of you could weigh in on that.
Mm-hmm. I think that's great. Shelby, do you have anything first before I dive in?
No, I mean, I know everyone thinks that I have like the whole nutrition thing down and everything, but I was honest the other day in the group that, even though I've gone gluten and dairy free, I mean, I've struggled with the whole like tortilla chip thing, and I can just sit there, just keep eating them. So, I mean, we all have our moments. And I even had to tell Greg yesterday, I said, I think we need to set a pact for this week that I don't have any tortilla chips this week because I can just keep eating them.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they're good.
We all do it. I know. And it's hard to know like what to post in the group. It's like, all right, I just picked down on tortilla chips.
Right.
But I think, I think that's good because then people, if you're like, if I'm every day saying, oh my gosh, I gave up again today, and 7 days in a row, I've had pizza or whatever, hopefully I wouldn't do that. And I typically don't do that, but there are 2 or 3 days in a row where I'm like, especially, during certain times where I'm like pigging out and I think, oh my gosh, same kind of thing, Beth, where I'm kind of like, I don't know what I should post because I don't feel really on my health journey right now. I feel like kind of my college journey right now. But I think that it's important to share those times too, in the sense that, because what I have learned is that, people are always watching, and they, if I were to just, and I think this is what I did in the beginning, was I was very go health and fitness, posted everything about health, fitness, blogs and my links, and like for the first year. And I think, and people knew me and they would see me outside of Facebook world. Mm-hmm. And while I was still proof that the product works in the sense that I wasn't like, way over my goals of where I should have been, I still maybe wasn't living proof all the time. I wasn't taking my Shakeology everywhere I went. I wasn't, always on with my nutrition everywhere I went. And so people saw that. And I think that's where the hypocrisy, I guess is the word I'm looking for, can come in. So for me, I've learned that I have to be real with people, and I do have to share those struggles too. And I kind of almost think that it gives people permission to see that, one, you're not perfect, and two, like that's the whole reason why there's Beachbody. because that's the accountability piece. And that's why I stay as a coach. And I've told people that I bring into the coaching group and say, you know, I'm not where I want to be on my health and fitness journey. I'm still working at it. And that's why I invite people to come with me. Like this, I need more people to help me hold me accountable and to help hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a great question. I think it'll continue always to be something that we all strive for because we're not perfect beings. Unfortunately, close to perfect. But I would not be afraid to, especially because if you start to have those doubts in your mind, people see those as well, whether or not you are actually visually posting them. You still, you know, for me, my demeanor is very different when I am high on my journey versus low on my journey. Winter is a hard time for me because I hate winter. And so that's where my personal development comes in huge, is when I'm reading, and whether it be spiritual personal development, which is huge for me in the wintertime too, especially if I don't have that one-on-one connection in my morning time, then I'm off there as well. So maybe that's an area too to work on. You know, it might not be just the personal growth of health. It might be that personal development too, which I know I have to work on daily.
Yeah.
What else? All 10 of you. Oh, I mean 2 of you.
I was gonna say, I was just thinking of something, and I was listening to you, and I'm like, wait, what was I gonna bring up?
Well, that's good you were listening.
I forgot though. I forgot what I was gonna
Yeah. Gotta have a piece of paper and start writing things down.
Yeah, I know.
Anything else though, in regards to that or success level?
I remember now what it was. It's kind of about, you know, the being real piece, how everyone just keeps saying you got to be real. And that's actually something that I really want to start working on, because like, I don't like taking pictures of me when I don't look good. I don't like, I mean, well, you know, I'm even on the call here, you know, I took off all my earrings and stuff. I took a nap because I was tired, you know, so like, you know, I'm just not big on taking selfies in general. And, you know, I did one day where, you know, like I get up in the morning, I don't put makeup on. You know, I put my hair up and I just put grubby clothes on usually to work out in. And I'm like, I don't want to take a picture of myself. So that one day I thought, I'm just going to do it, you know, but it's still hard, like, to think about doing those things. So I want to get better about being more real and just, I mean, I want to put just gross looking pictures out there, but you know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's so important too. And that was one thing I wanted to touch on that I forgot was, you know, I think so oftentimes like we see other coaches, and that other coach could be me, or it could be Michelle, or it could be Beth or Shelby or whoever, you know, on this team or on the bigger team, that some of the top coaches, and you kind of see what they're doing and you think, oh, I could never be them, or I can't do what they're doing, or I want to do what they're doing, and you try to strive to do what they're doing. But, you know, the bottom line is we all have our unique gifts and abilities, and we are all, you know, gifted in totally different areas. You know, I know there's certain gifts that people have that can be the same as someone else, but the way you portray that gift and the way that you work that into your everyday life is completely different from the way, say, I would do it, or Beth would do it, or someone else. And so the whole thing, I love how you said be real, because the whole thing is like, we can work on those vital behaviors, and they're, you know, at the core, they are the same. We are going to be inviting. We are going to be doing our personal development, and we're all going to be being proof the product works. But that doesn't look the same in everyone's house. You know, I'm not necessarily a P90X person. I love Insanity. But I know there are other people, like my husband, for example, he loves P90X and anything with Tony Horton. And Shelby, I think you're a big P90X person. You know, and for others, like
I haven't been able to do it with my shoulder.
Yeah, I know. And for other people, like, they look at me and they think, you know, I could never do what Carrie's doing. Like, you know, and you have to understand, you kind of have to meet people where they are and help them to understand, like, you know, yes, you want passionate people on your team. Yes, you want people who are, and I'll put in quotes, like you, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be your exact clone of you. You know, I wish very much that I could clone myself and, you know, have the exact same people. But, you know, that's not reality, you know? And the reality is that we have to be ourselves and we have to attract the people who want to be attracted to us. We can't be everything to everyone, but we can be, you know, we can hone in on our special gifts and talents and then share those with other people and help those people that are attracted to us then. And so that is being real with people, and that is understanding where people are and kind of meeting them there. And that's why, you know, it's very important to really dig into people's whys and ask those questions. In so many of the new coaches that I've been working with recently, you know, when they come back and they say, you know, things aren't working, or, you know, so-and-so just said they might be interested, I said, go back and ask them more questions. I'm like, okay. But like, for me, that's the one thing over the last 4 years that I have learned, if nothing else. I've learned plenty, but like, that's the biggest thing that has stuck with me is like, I have to ask people questions and like not make it about me. And that's one of the reasons why I did this with the round robin, is because I want to ask you questions and not make this about me and everything I know. You know, I am ahead of some of you. You know, I know Michelle Beckman and I came in very close together. Like, she signed up just a few months after I did under me. And Shelby, you weren't far behind.
Like a year behind.
Yeah. And so, but I have some who like they just signed up 2 months ago. So yeah, I have more knowledge than them, but that doesn't mean that I need to just spill all my knowledge to them. You know, they're not going to learn anything if I just talk for a half hour every week. What's going to work is when, you know, like Beth, you had asked a great question. And what's going to stick more is when we talk about that and share our experiences versus, you know, me just telling you what's working for me. You know, make sense? So, any other questions or areas you want to talk about? Success Club or inviting or?
Actually, it makes me nervous with the new change.
What do you mean? Oh, with Success Club 10 and 5?
Yeah. Well, partly because like Greg is one of my coaches, and like I've just been getting like customers under him, but now if I don't do anything with his, like I won't even get like customers under him. And then obviously if I want the Shakeology customers, then I have to reach Success Club 10, and I've only done that once, and last month I got to 9, and I'm just like, so. Well,
I mean, it's intimidating for sure, but I can understand why they're making the change, and it's a good change. I know in this group that I'm in, one of the many groups that I'm in, there was a lot of negative feedback, and then people would jump in like, look, the network is growing so quickly, and there's so many people who are just sort of signing people up and not really doing anything, and now they're getting customers and not really doing anything with those customers. And for me, like, that's frustrating. That's 10 more customers I could have gotten in a month, but it had to be shared with 10 other coaches who aren't doing anything with it, you know? Mm-hmm. So it makes us work harder, but at the same time, like, if it means that I'm going to get more customers in the end, then sure. Like, if I can get Success Club 10, and I'll be honest, like, that's not something I get every month. I get Success Club 5 every month. Like, that's just my goal. I've got it for 17 months straight now. And in 3.5 years, I've only missed it once. But Success Club 10, I mean, it's under maybe 6 times that I've gotten Success Club 10. So, I mean, that's a huge jump, but it's doable. And I can, like I said, I can understand why they're doing it, and I'm fine with that. But you're right. It is kind of like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is too, is like it used to be where we could say, you know, well, once you get 2 coaches under you, you know, they'll start giving you Shakeology customers if you hit Success Club 5. And so like for people who are newer, it's, I mean, as we all know, it's like harder in the beginning because you kind of have to build up. So like it might intimidate newer coaches or for people from signing up as a coach.
Yeah, but you can also look at it from the standpoint of if they make Success Club 5, they're going to be getting leads, and those are people they can connect with and, you know, kind of go from
there. I totally understand what they're saying too, because I've thought the same thing, that, you know, we've barely been getting any people.
1 a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 or 2 if we're lucky. So that's a good point though. But I don't know, with change always comes a little like, and then it's sort of, you know, just like challenge packs. I know in the beginning, like there were a lot of coaches that freaked out about that. I listened to Jimmy Hayes Nelson's team call, or I mean, the national wake up call a couple weeks ago. And he had some great points about like on demand and how there's been so many people who are like, I don't like it. Me, I'm like, I love it. I think it's a great thing, because it gives us like this completely different avenue. And if people don't want to narrow in on one specific program, it's great for that. And I love the fact that they have a challenge pack tied into it. So,
yeah, I like it too.
Good. Beth, anything? So were you clear though, Beth, on the whole change? Did you see that was posted? I posted that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I also, like, somebody had posted about it in the Fit Club Network group. I was just kind of reading what they had said too. Some other people. Okay.
Sounds good. So I think the biggest thing going forward to continue to do and to kind of wrap it up and to remind you is just, you know, we all have to be working on those 3 vital behaviors. And I know it sounds so redundant, but like, look at your past weeks. And I bet if you were to track, you'd say, for me, like, I know for a while my inviting was not where it was. Now, part of that's because I had people coming to me, but at the same time I look at that and I think, well, gosh, what if we're still inviting 30 or 40 people every month? Plus, on top of the 5 people that came to me that's bought challenge packs, like, where would I be with my Success Club points then? You know, like, I think I love Success Club and I will always strive to hit that every single month. But sometimes I think it sort of like, when I get to those, even if it's like the 10th of the month, I'm like, whew, I'm done. Like, but like, you know, I think the top coaches and some of those others that you see that have like 30 and 50 points a month, I'm always like, holy cow. But I think it's because they don't get to that 5 or that 10 and say, I'm good. We'll save them for next month. You know, like, they just go for it. And they, every single day they're doing the same thing. And that's what I strive to get to, where on Mondays, like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Tuesdays, like, as boring as it may sound, but think about it. Like, if you were to go to a job, like any job, a desk job, for the most part, you do the same things every day, right? You have the same set tasks. A boss is telling you, like, I need these done by such and such time. And I think that's what oftentimes happens with our business is people kind of treat it like it's a hobby and they don't treat it like a business because there's no one telling them. Like, I'm not calling Beth every day or Shelby every day and saying, Shelby, do you have that done for today? Like, it needs to be done by 3:00 today. You know, I'm not doing that because it's your business. And what you want to do is what you want to do. You know, I'm not going to hang over top of you and mother you. hold your hand. And so I think that's the other, I hope that's a good takeaway, is just the importance of like not, treating your business no matter what time you have. If that means 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day is more than nothing, right? So like every day saying, this is what I'm going to do today. For even,
I do have a question. What kind of, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
what kind
fine.
of personal development are you guys reading?
I mean, for me, like in my boot camp, I'm doing the Compound Effect again, which is a great one. And if you've read it before, it's one that you could read over and over and pick up on something different.
Mm-hmm.
Shelby, how about you? Is there anything you've picked up recently?
Actually, right now I'm reading, what's it called? Super Life by Darren O'Lean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have gotten that yet.
I haven't.
But, I mean, I'm like astounded by some of the things that he's saying. I'm like, oh shoot, I should have got the hard copy of the book instead of the Kindle, because I'm like, I'm gonna need to go back and like write all this stuff out, because I keep I'm like reading it, and like Greg's there, and I'm just like reading it out loud to him, because I'm just like, can you believe,
I have to check that out.
No,
So it's good?
Oh, it is. And it's like awesome stuff to share with people about nutrition.
Okay.
Especially. And if you read it, like, it totally shows, like he talks about like the quality of the ingredients that he gets even for Shakeology. Like he's talking about like different areas, like to have a super life, but a lot of the beginning stuff, talking about water and some of the food nutrition stuff, and just, like he breaks it down, like even what type of water you should be drinking, and he explains why and gives like reasoning for all. He was talking about how he got the title of being like the ingredient hunter or whatever it is that they call him, and then like he talked about like how he met like Carl and Isabella, and is it Isabel or Isabella? I don't know. Anyway, basically they said, we want you to make a shake that you would drink, and he's like super like
Ultra
crazy
healthy.
about what kind of foods he eats. So like, just like hearing him say all this stuff, and it's like, that what we're drinking is good stuff.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So, you've got to read it.
Okay. Good question, Beth. Because that's important. The other one that's a good one, just for growth, not necessarily like, I think that's great from an information standpoint, but the other that's good is Eat That Frog. Have you read that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Go for No, have you read that?
No, I did GoPro.
Okay, Go for No is a really good and very short read. It's like fast read. It's real skinny. I don't think I have it right here. But anyway, it's really skinny. So, yeah, I think those are important things. I think that's a great question. And we're going to be wrapping up here because
just gave us a notice.
What's that?
It just gave me a notice. It's over.
Yeah. So it'll be over soon, like in 9 minutes. But I've been timing since you guys have gotten on the phone, and it's almost at 30 minutes, and I want to honor that time. But real quick, do you have any other last minute words of wisdom or questions or anything like that? And it's fine if you don't. All right. Well, I appreciate both of you coming on today, because I know it's a beautiful day out there. And for those of you who are watching the recording, feel free to post any questions when I upload this, if you have any questions afterwards. And then we'll kind of go from there. So thanks for coming on.
All right.
I will talk to you later. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Bye.